So Chennedy Carter is a player for nobody right now. Absolutely nobody. She is not playing basketball, and we've now got a situation where we've got one of the 15 best players in the world just not in the league. Just not in the league.
Chennedy Carter just pushed Caitlin Clark on national TV, and now she's the WNBA's most unwanted player. The backlash was immediate and intense, but this push is just the tip of the iceberg. Carter's got a history that's coming back to haunt her. We're talking locker room drama, teammate feuds, and now total rejection from the league. You won't believe how deep this goes.
I don't know why people be so surprised. Oh my God, Chennedy Carter deserved a play. Why? Did y'all forget all of the events that transpired last year with her and Caitlin Clark? And then she refused to own up to what she did. What organization want to deal with that?
But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about the push. Carter has been a ticking time bomb, clashing with teammates at every turn. And now she's out of a job again. That's 4 teams that have given her a chance only to walk away.
And people was wondering on Twitter and X, why come she haven't found the team? I'm here to tell you. This ain't rocket science why she ain't found the team. I don't know why people be so surprised. Oh my God, Chennedy Carter deserved a play. Why?
You imagine being so talented yet so toxic that 4 teams decided, yeah, we're better off without you. We're about to break down all the messy details that led to this moment, from the locker room tension to that heated shove on Caitlin Clark. Buckle up, because this story is about to get wild. Let's set the scene. The Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever were back at it. Their rivalry is intense. As ever, it's a packed, tensions are high, and Clark's on fire. She's sinking shots left and right, making it look easy. The crowd's going crazy, and you can feel the energy in the air. It's like watching a masterclass in basketball.
Working it around here for the Fever. Good ball movement on this possession. Logo shot. Logo make for Clark.
The Indiana Fever. They make sure that the ball moves around until it gets back in the hands off Caitlin when she gives the ball up.
Well, the Fever on a 15-2 extended run from the end of the first quarter. Clark again.
But then out of nowhere, Carter loses it. She shoves Clark hard right in the middle of the game. The whole place goes dead silent, like someone hit the pause button on reality. It's one of those moments where time seems to stand still, and everyone's trying to process what they just saw.
Carter and Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Chennedy Carter.
Now, you might be thinking it's just a push right wrong. This is where things get crazy. The refs are standing there shocked. The WNBA president's jaw is on the floor, and Clark looks like she can't even believe what just happened. And Carter, she doesn't even apologize. She just stands there like it's no big deal.
Clark. I mean, that's clearly...
Officials call it a flagrant foul, unnecessary, and reckless. Can you imagine being in a league where pushing someone is considered that serious? This isn't tackle football, folks. In basketball, this kind of contact is a big no-no.
This was originally ruled an away from the ball foul, but it was obviously a flagrant foul. It really upset a lot of people, which really escalated the issue. And it was really just poor sportsmanship on Kennedy's part.
But wait, it gets even wilder after all the drama. What does Carter do? Nothing, no apology, no explanation, just a shrug, like it's no big deal. And when reporters ask about it, she simply says, I'm not answering any Clark questions. If silence could spark a fire, this one's an inferno.
Play before bumping in with Caitlin, it seemed like she turned to you a little bit after the Fever score. Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
Everyone's wondering what's going to happen to Carter now. And let me tell you, it's not looking good. The league takes the stuff seriously, and they're not about to let it slide. We're talking potential fines, suspensions, maybe even worse.
That right there, I believe, was the push that altered her career. And I'm telling you right now, it is not looking good for Chennedy.
But let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just about one push or one game. This is about the future of the WNBA. Clark's been bringing in huge crowds, getting people excited about women's basketball in a way we haven't seen before. And now in the middle of all that positive momentum, we've got this incident.
Now, a lot of people was kind of surprised by this. I'm not, because I know You know what I'm saying? What she did to Caitlin Clark was completely unnecessary. And I'm here to tell you guys, she's living with that decision today because she is without a job.
You've got to wonder what's going through Carter's head right now. Did she not realize how bad this would look? Or was it just a moment of frustration that got way out of hand? And what about Clark? She's handled this whole thing like a pro, but you know it's got to be affecting her imagine working your, but off to become one of the best players in the league, only to have someone try to literally push you down.
When Tyler Marsh did the press conference, he talked about Angel Reese. He talked about Cardoso, who I think is going to be a star in the WNBA, but he did not really mention Chennedy Carter at all, and that raised a lot of eyebrows.
The fans are going crazy online. Social media is blowing up with people taking sides, sharing clips of the incident, and debating what should happen next. Is like the whole basketball world is holding its breath waiting to see how this all plays out.
One person said we still can't be doing this every year. Chennedy Carter is the reason WNBA won't take a risk on her.
The thing, this isn't just about Carter and Clark anymore. It's bigger than that. This is about the WNBA drawing a line in the sand, setting a precedent for the NDR League. How they handle this situation will send a clear message to every player, coach, and fan about what's acceptable and what crosses the line. You might be thinking, surely someone will give Carter another chance. Right, wrong, completely wrong. The Chicago Sky didn't just bench her. They cut her loose, no strings attached, no contract, no trade, no core designation, just a simple thanks for playing, now leave. And here's the craziest part, this wasn't just any player. She was their leading scorer, yet they let her walk away without even trying to get something in return. In the WNBA, that's almost unheard.
She gets no offer to return from the Chicago Sky, which a lot of people have been feeling by her social media posts that she got quite offended by.
Now with her reputation in shambles, GMS won't even pick up her agent calls. Just like that, a top player has become untouchable. How fast does it happen? Faster than you'd think. And the answer might just surprise you.
And there has not been a peep about anywhere that she could be landing in this free agency. So a lot of people, including myself, are wondering, is she worth the risk now?
Let's rewind a bit. Carter's got a history of drama that's about to catch up with her big time. Carter's past is even messier than we thought. She left Texas A&M as a top prospect, landing as the Atlanta Dream's first round pick, a clear sign of her incredible potential. But instead of building a bright future, she threw it all away.
Come on, cheer for your teammates, be a part of this team. And then ensues an altercation between the two where Chennedy Carter was sent to the locker room mid-game, of which afterwards, after the game, this is what has been reported. I guess Chennedy Carter wanted to fight Courtney Williams, like physically fight Courtney Williams, who backed away from this and was like, no way. So there was no actual physical altercation that happened.
You're right. Carter really went at it with Courtney Williams back when she was with the Atlanta Dream. She was ready to throw down right there on the court. And let's not forget, Courtney is one of the most easygoing players in the league, someone who actively avoids drama. Now imagine being so difficult that even she ends up in a dispute with you. And what did the Atlanta Dream do? Not much at first. They were stuck, but eventually they had no choice. Carter was suspended, and soon after she was traded.
Atlanta Dream did suspend her in the middle of the sophomore season, basically saying she was a detriment to the team and the team culture. So then the Atlanta Dream decided to trade her to the Sparks, the Los Angeles.
At this point, you might be wondering, how bad could it really be? Well, let me break it down for you. One WNBA executive flat out said they wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. That's not an exaggeration. Carter has officially become radioactive. This isn't just one team or one GM turning their back on her. The entire league is looking the other way.
She ended up playing a lot less minutes there, and the reasoning that the Sparks were saying that she was playing less minutes was because of poor conduct, and that was the 2022 season. Then in the 2023 season, the Sparks just decided to release her.
And if you need proof, just look at the Chicago Sky's decision. They didn't just cut ties. They didn't even try to keep her. That's huge in the WNBA. Teams never let their top scorers walk away for nothing. When they do, it means the locker room issues are so toxic that they'd rather play shorthanded than deal with the drama.
Other teams were willing to pick her up after that, so she ends up going over to Turkey, playing in Turkey, of which she balled out. So then the W team started looking at her again and being like, maybe we should give this person another chance. So she was signed to the Chicago Sky with Teresa Weatherspoon, with Angel Reese, with Camila Cardoso and, the rest of the folks.
The fallout from Carter's behavior is sending shockwaves through the league. Her reputation has taken such a hit that even her undeniable skills on the court can't outweigh the drama she brings to the locker room. It's a stark reminder that in professional sports, your attitude can make or break your career no matter how talented you are.
I mean, look, maybe she's part of the culture problem. But that's very interesting.
The Chicago Sky locker room had become a battleground, a place where tension hung in the air like a storm about to break. Players whispered in corners, avoiding eye contact, their silence louder than words. The atmosphere was thick, almost suffocating. And to make matters worse, former coach Teresa Weatherspoon had turned a sharp eye toward Chennedy Carter's behavior. Now you might have thought surely it couldn't be that bad, right? But it only got worse. One of Carter's own teammates, not just a bench player, but a key figure on the team, went as far as calling her a locker room cancer. Can you believe that they didn't just criticize her, they outright said we're better off without her? Ouch, that was the kind of burn that didn't just sting, it scarred.
He did that interview 2 months ago once he got hired, saying, he wants to build around Camila Cardoso and Angel Reese because they are the cornerstone of the team. I'm like, I'm all for it. I'm very excited. I'm like, you're absolutely correct. But it was no mention of Chennedy Carter. That's when I started to worry. Let me just read you some excerpts on, the tea. So it says, according to multiple league sources, players were unhappy with the dynamic created in the locker room last year due to Carter's behavior, which went unchecked by former coach Teresa Weatherspoon.
So some players weren't just venting about Carter behind her back. They were actively trying to get her kicked off the team before the season even started. Brutal, right? But it only proves how toxic the situation had become. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, Angel Reese unfollowed her on social media. That's right, her closest teammate didn't just distance herself in the locker room. She made it public. If that doesn't speak volumes, I don't know what does.
So these guys do not want her for locker room issues. They did not offer her any return contract, never spoke about her in conversations about the franchise's future. And there has not been a peep about anywhere that she could be landing in this free agency.
And the coaches, they were struggling. Two sources are saying they were tearing up game plans left and right. It's like they couldn't figure out how to make the team work with Carter on the court. Can you imagine being so disruptive that your coaches can't even do their jobs?
I mean, look, maybe she's part of the culture problem. But that's very interesting.
The Chicago Sky didn't just sit back and watch the drama unfold. They made a move that left everyone shocked. They decided not to offer Carter a qualifying contract. This kind of move is practically unheard of for a player with Carter's scoring ability. It's like telling LeBron James thanks. But no thanks, that's how big of a deal this is. And this was released.
When Tyler Marsh did the press conference, he talked about Angel Reese. He talked about Cardoso, who I think is going to be a star in the WNBA. But he did not really mention Chennedy Carter at all, and that raised a lot of eyebrows. Now, Marina Mabrey, she's already flown the coop on this team, and it was quote-unquote because of culture.
Let's put this in perspective. Carter's got Hop's incredible finishing ability, and she's practically unguardable on the court. She's the kind of player teams usually fight to keep, but the Sky basically said, we don't care how many points you can score, you're not worth a headache. That's a mic drop moment right there.
He had an incredible season for us last year, Tagliacca said in a statement provided to the Sun-Times. She's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level in our league. We absolutely appreciate all she did for our team last year. However, we've made changes to our staff and we'll make changes to our roster. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
One anonymous source dropped this bomb. The team would rather have no player at all than deal with Carter's drama. Can you imagine being so difficult to work with that your boss would rather leave your position empty? That's next level toxic.
Have we ever seen a player this talented, be out of a league? Genuinely, I don't think we have. Off the top of my head, I can't remember a player who was top 10 be out of the league without doing something crazy. Like, for example, like Michael Ray Richardson, who broke the 3-strike rule for freaking doing drugs back in the day.
So now Carter's facing a future where her incredible talent might not be enough to save her career. She's gone from being one of the most promising players in the WNBA to someone teams are afraid to touch. It's like watching a star implode in real time.
You've got teams that maybe don't think Chennedy Carter's worth the headache. And you've got a super talented player that might never play in the WNBA again, which is crazy, which is absolutely crazy if she was to be done after the best season of her career.